I'm Roshni from Learner Hub, the free learning platform where you can learn math, science, social science, English grammar, tips and tricks, everything for free. And this video is the fourth video of the video series on playing with numbers class 6 maths. And in this video, we are going to continue the divisibility rules for the rest of the numbers starting from 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Let's get started.
So now we will look at the divisibility by 7. So the rule for divisibility by 7 states that a number is divisible by 7 if the difference between twice the last digit and the number formed by rest of the digits is either 0 or multiple of 7. Now this is not as simple as was the case for 2, 3 or 6. This is little complicated but not very complicated as well. Let's take one example to understand this. Let us suppose we take the example of a number 291. So what we need to do in this case is, we will have to find out the difference between twice the last digit. So which is the last digit? The digit at its units place, that is the last digit. So basically when we say last digit, I am talking about the digit at the units place or ones place. So twice this digit, so that is basically 2 into 1. And the number formed by rest of the digits. What is the rest of the digits? The number that is formed by rest of the digit is 29. So you have to find the difference between these two. So 29 minus 2 into 1. So twice the last digit and the remaining number. So that these two numbers difference need to be found out. So what is the difference in this case? It is 27. Now this difference, if it is either 0 or a multiple of 7, only in that case the number will be divisible by 7. Now quickly write down the multiples of 7 in one corner. So the multiples of 7 would be something like this. 7 1s are 7, 7 2s are 14, 7 3s are 21, 7 4s are 28, 7 5s are 35, 7 6s are 42 and so on. So this is how the multiples would look like. So 27 is not a multiple of 7. Therefore, the number 291 is not divisible by 7. So let us look at other examples. Let us suppose you have a number 3521. So in this case, how would you check for divisibility by 7? First, consider the last digit. Multiply it by 2, subtract it from the remaining number, that is 352. So basically it is 350. Now do you know if 350 is divisible by 7 or not? Because 350 is also a big number. So it is difficult to tell if it is a multiple of 7 or not. So what we do, we repeat the same process. So which is the last digit? 0. Multiply it by 2 and then subtract it from rest of the number, that is from 35. So 35 minus 0. So this is equal to 35. Now can you tell if 35 is divisible by 7? Yes, it is. Therefore this number is divisible by 7. So this is how we can decide whether a number is divisible by 7 or not. Now here also, this was little complicated, that we have to find out, we have to subtract twice the last digit from the remaining number. So why such a complicated system is in place? So you might be curious to know how this rule works. Why have we made this as a rule for divisibility by 7? Now in order to explain this, I will again take the same example of 3521. Now if we expand this number, how would I expand this number? As usual, units, tens, hundreds and thousands. So this will be expanded as 3 into 1000 plus 5 into 100 plus 2 into 10 plus 1 into 1. This is how we will expand the numbers. Now this number can be very well written as, if you look at it, all these terms except the units place, all other terms are multiples of 10. Tens place, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakh, all of them would be multiple of 10. So we can write it as 10 into 300 plus 50 plus 2 plus 1. So we can write it in this form. So basically we have written the number. The number has been written in the form 10x plus y. That is 10 into this entire part, which is considered as x, plus y. What is y? Y is the last digit. That is the digit at the units place. So this number has been written in the form of 10x plus y. Now what we have to prove? We have to find out if 10x plus y is divisible by 7 or not. Right? So how can we handle this 10x part more smartly, in a smarter way? Now, if we say that 10x plus y is divisible by 7, it is as good as saying that 10x plus y minus 21y is divisible by 7. Now, this doesn't mean that I am saying that 10x plus y is equal to 10x plus y minus 21y. I am not saying that. I am saying that if I say that 10x plus y is divisible by 7, saying this and saying this is the same. Why? Because 21 is a multiple of 7. So 21y, this term is divisible by 7. So if I say that this term is divisible by 7, if I say that 10x plus y is divisible by 7, then I can also say that 10x plus y minus 21y is also divisible by 7, because I have just added an additional term which is already divisible by 7. So students, please understand this, that when I am writing in this way, I am only writing it as a trick so that I can arrive at a conclusion to prove that why are we doing these twice the last digit and then finding out the difference. So why are we doing that? So to arrive at that point, I am just assuming this, that let us say that we say that this number, which is in the form of 10x plus y, is divisible by 7. So if I say this, it is same as saying 10x plus y minus 21y is divisible by 7, because in the first sentence we assumed that this part is divisible by 7, and the new part that we have introduced that part in such a way that it is a multiple of 7. So we can say that this entire thing is divisible by 7. Now, is there any better way in which we can write this? So this can be written as 10x minus 20y, because minus 21y plus y will give us minus 20y. So this can be written as 10 into x minus 2y. Right? So basically now our challenge is to decide if this part is this part divisible by 7? Now what exactly is this part? This part is basically the difference between x and 2 times y. And what was y? Y was nothing but the digit in the units place, that is the last digit. So twice the last digit subtracted from x, where x was the remaining number. You see, 300 plus 50 plus 2, that is 352. So 352 was the remaining number. So basically what are we trying to see is, what we need to check is if the difference between the remaining number and twice the last digit is divisible by 7 or not. So that is how this entire concept of divisibility by 7 works. So let us try to put the same logic to some other number. Let us say the other number which we had considered, that is 291. So 291 can be written as 2 into 100 plus 9 into 10 plus 1. So this can be written as 10 into 20 plus 9 plus 1. So here what is x? X is this. And what is y? Y is this. So what we have to check? We have to check if x minus 2y is divisible by 7 or not. So x is 29 minus 2y, that is 2 into 1. So 29 minus 2 into 1. In fact, that is what we had done in the previous slide to find out if 2921 is divisible by 7 or not. So this is how divisibility by 7 works. Now at your level, you might not have studied about divisibility by 7 in your textbooks. That's because it is slightly more difficult as compared to other numbers. But still I have included it, otherwise you would have been curious that why divisibility by 7 is missing. So that is why I have included it. Please pay more attention to it, then you will be able to understand this. So let us quickly look at these numbers and check if they are divisible by 7. 2, 4, 5, 6. So rest of the numbers except the last digit, that is 245 minus twice the last digit, that is 2 into 6. So this would be equal to 233. But this is also a big number to decide whether it is divisible by 7 or not. So we will repeat the process. So except the last number, the entire number is 23 minus 2 times the last digit, that is 2 into 3. So this is equal to 23 minus 6, which is 17. Now is 17 divisible by 7? No. So the number is not divisible by 7. Let us look at the next number. It is 10512760. So here let us perform the first step. So let's see how many steps we have to perform. So initially we will consider the entire number except the last digit. 10512760 minus 2 into 0. So that is basically 0. So this will be 10512760. So we do not know if this is divisible by 7 or not. So we repeat the process. What do? We consider the entire number except the last digit and then subtract 2 times the last digit. So 2 into 6, that would be 12. So once we subtract 12 from this, we get 105115. Again, we are not sure if this would be divisible by 7 or not. So we repeat the process. 105115. Not 5, we will leave the last digit, minus 2 into 5, which is 10. So this gives us 10501. So you see gradually the number is reducing and finally we will reach at a number looking at which we will be able to tell if that is divisible by 7 or not. So here we get 1048. Now again another step where we do 104 minus 2 times 8, that is 16. So this gives 88. Now can you tell if 88 is divisible by 7 or not? Is 88 a multiple of 7? No. Therefore this number is also not divisible by 7. In a similar way, 131001, this can also be checked in this fashion. In the first step, 13100 minus 2 into 1. So this would give 13098. Looking at this, we can't decide anything. So we will repeat the process. 1309 minus 2 into 8. And this would give 1293. This is still a big number. So we will again repeat the process. It would be 129 minus 2 into 3. That is 129 minus 6, which would be 123. Now if we repeat this process one more time, then we will be able to reach at a smaller number. So we get it as 6. Now is 6 divisible by 7? No, it is not divisible by 7. Therefore this number as a whole is also not divisible by 7. So in this fashion, we can decide if a number is divisible by 7 or not. Let us now talk about divisibility by 8. So what is that rule that tells us whether a number is divisible by 8 or not? So a number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. Now, do you feel that this rule is little similar to the divisibility rule by 4? Now in divisibility by 4, we used to check for the last 2 digits, and in divisibility by 8, we check for the last 3 digits. But otherwise the concept is the same. Let us take an example. Let's say that you have a number 8921 and you have to decide whether this number is divisible by 8 or not. So what you need to do, you need to find out by actual division whether the last three digits, that is 921, is divisible by 8 or not. So what you do, you divide 921 by 8. So you get it as something like this. So basically this shows that you have a remainder here and therefore 921 is not divisible by 8. Therefore this number is also not divisible by 8. Now here you might have a question in your mind that okay, in this case, let's say if we have a 3-digit number. So in that case, what will I do if I have to find out if that number is divisible by 8 or not? Well, this divisibility rule of 8 applies mostly for bigger numbers, because if it is a 3-digit number, you anyways need to find it out by actual division. So this rule applies, or this rule is helpful for 4-digit number or bigger numbers. Now let us look at a bigger number like this. Let's say you have 14562. So this is 14,562. So here, instead of dividing this 5-digit number, all you need to do is just divide this part. So basically you divide 562 by 8 and what do you get? So here also you see that there is a remainder left, which shows that this is not divisible by 8. So in this way, we find out divisibility by 8. Now, like all other cases, let us see how this divisibility rule works. Why are we interested in the last 3 digits only? So let us take the same example of this number 14562, 14,562. The moment we expand this number, we get 1 into 10,000 plus 4 into 1,000 plus 5 into 100 plus 6 into 10 plus 2 into 1. So this is the expansion of the number. Now, what is the trick that we will be using here? So in this case, we have to handle these numbers 10, 100, 1000, 10,000. Now, do you think that 10 is divisible by 8? No. Do you think 100 is divisible by 8? No. Do you think 1000 is divisible by 8? If you want, you can quickly do the actual division and find out. So what do you see? 1000 is exactly divisible by 8. So now this 1000 is divisible by 8. That means any multiple of 1000 will be divisible by 8, right? So 1000 is divisible by 8. Now, if 1000 is divisible by 8, then any multiple of 1000, that means you multiply anything with 1000, but that will also be divisible by 8. So, you see here also we are applying the same concept as we did for divisibility by 4. But in that case, 100 was divisible by 4. So, it happened at an earlier stage. In this case, 1000 is divisible by 8. So therefore, what we can say, when we look at these numbers, we can say that this part will be divisible by 8. This part will also be divisible by 8. So what are we left with? So we are basically left with this part. And what is this part? This part refers to the last 3 digits. So 5 into 100 is 500 plus 6 into 10, that is 60, plus 2 into 1, that is 2. So 562. So 562 is basically the last 3 digits. So these 3 digits are the ones for which we need to check by actual division if they are divisible by 8 or not. So this is how the divisibility rule for 8 works. So let us quickly see if these numbers are divisible by 8 or not. So the first number is 2456. So let us focus on the last 3 digits, that is 456. So when you actually divide 456 by 8, so what do you get? It is 8 5s are 40. So this is 56. So this is 8 7s are 56. So here it is divisible by 8 and therefore this number as a whole is also divisible by 8. Let us look at the next number. It is 10512760. So again we will just focus on the last three digits, that is 760. Now if you actually divide 760 by 8, what do you get? 8 9s are 72, so this is 40, 8 5s are 40. And this is also 760 is also divisible by 8, therefore this entire number is also divisible by 8. Now let us look at the divisibility by 9. A number is divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. So here the concept is little similar to that of divisibility by 3. So there also we focused on the sum of the digits. So let us look at some examples. So let's say you have a number 9683 and you have to decide if it is divisible by 9 or not. So what do? You add the digits up and the sum comes out to be, say, 26. Now 26, do you think it is divisible by 9? Quickly write down the multiples of 9 in order to know if it is divisible or not. So what do you see? 26 is not divisible by 9. Now in case you are not very sure, you break it down again find out the sum of the digits, so that comes out to be 8, which is not divisible by 9. Therefore this number as a whole is not divisible by 9. Let us look, if you want by actual division also you can prove this, that this is not divisible by 9. For example, this is 9 ones are 9, here I have 6, put it 0. So 9, 7 is a 63, this is 5, here it is 53, 9 5s are 45, so you are left with 8. So 8 is left as a remainder, which shows that 9683 is not divisible by 9. Let us look at another example like 1881, 1881. Do you think this will be divisible by 9? Let's quickly look at the sum of the digits. And the sum of the digits is 18, and 18 is divisible by 9. So this proves that this number 1881 is also divisible by 9. So you can prove this also by actual division. So if you perform actual division, you will see that the remainder is 0, proving that 1881 is divisible by 9. So again, how the divisibility rule for 9 works. So if we will prove it in a similar way as we did for the divisibility test for 3. So let's consider this number 1881. So we will expand the number like this: 1 into 1000 plus 8 into 100 plus 8 into 10 plus 1 into 1. So this is how we will expand the numbers. So we can write 1000 as 999 plus 1. Similarly, we can write 100 as 99 plus 1. We can also write 10 as 9 plus 1. And finally, 1 into 1. So now here, when we write it like this, very clearly we can say that 9 is divisible by 9, 99 is also divisible by 9, and 999 is also divisible by 9. So now here, as per distributive property, we are breaking down the terms, that is A into B plus C can be written as A into B plus B into C. So what we are doing is A into B plus C can be written as A into B plus A into C. That is what we are doing here. So this is what we get. Now here we can very clearly say that all these terms are divisible by 9, whichever has 99 or 9 or 999. So all these terms are divisible. So what are we left with? So we are left with 1 into 1 plus 8 into 1 plus 8 into 1 plus 1 into 1, which is basically 1 plus 8 plus 8 plus 1. That is nothing but sum of the digits. So that means we are only unsure about the sum of the digits. So if sum of the digits is divisible by 9, the remaining part is anyways divisible by 9, because remaining portion has multiples of 9 like 999, 999, 9999 and so on. So therefore we check for the sum of the digits. Let us now move on to the divisibility by 10. A number is divisible by 10 if the number has 0 in its ones place. Now this is very simple. Now whenever you have to find whether a number is divisible by 10 or not, the only thing that you need to bother about is the digit at its units place or ones place. Now if there is a 0, that is if the last digit is 0, then it is divisible by 10, otherwise it is not. So let us look at some examples. 15900. Do you think this is divisible by 10? Of course, because there is a 0 at its units place. So this is divisible by 10. Let's take other example like 9601. Now at the units place we have 1. So this is not divisible by 10. So there has to be a 0 at the last place. You talk about an example like this. 1980000. Again there is a 0 at the units place. So this is also divisible by 10. Now if you want by actual division, you can see that whatever I have told, they hold true. Now again the same question, how does it work? Why is it that if there is a 0 at the units place, that number will be divisible by 10? Now in order to understand this, let us quickly look at the multiples of 10. Now if you start writing the multiples of 10, it would be something like this. 10 ones are 10, 10 twos are 20, 10 threes are 30, 10 fours are 40, and so on. Now as you keep writing the multiples, everywhere you would see that there is a 0 at its units place. Doesn't matter how big the number is. It might be a 10-digit number, but at the last place there will always be a 0. So basically when we look at this divisibility rule, when we say that there is a 0 at the units place, that means there is a 0 at the last place, that means that number is going to be a multiple of 10, which simply means that the number is divisible by 10. Let us now look at the divisibility by 11. How do we know that a number is divisible by 11? So a number is divisible by 11 if the difference between the sum of the digits at odd places and sum of the digits at even places is either 0 or divisible by 11. So this is again a little complicated rule, like how we did it in case of the divisibility by 7. But anyways, we will understand this as well. Now, let us take example of some number. Let's say 391625. Let's say we have to tell whether this number is divisible by 11 or not. So what we need to do? We need to sum the digits at the odd places, and again we need to sum the digits at the even places, and then we need to find the difference between the two. Now the question is, what is the meaning of odd places and even places? Now, this counting of odd and even places will always start from right. Now, this is an important thing to remember. So, you will start positioning the digits from your right hand side, that is from the units place, right? So, this is units place, this is tens place, this is hundreds place, thousands place, and so on. So you will always start numbering the position of the digits from the units place. So let us say this is position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a 7-digit number and you have 7 positions of the digits. Now can you tell me what are the digits which are located at the odd places? Odd places means located at position 1, located at position 3, position 5, position 7, because 1, 3, 5, 7, these are odd numbers. So these basically mean, so these positions 1, 3, 5 and 7, these positions are the odd positions. So we call them odd positions. Now what about these positions 2, 4 and 6? These are the even positions. So what we need to do? We need to find out the sum of the digits at odd places. So which are the odd places? 1, 3, 5 and 7. So these are the digits at the odd places. So sum of the digits at the odd places will be equal to 3 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5. right? Similarly, sum of the digits at the even places would be 9, 6 and 4. So 9 plus 6 plus 4. Now please make sure that you start counting the position of the digits from right hand side. So that is very important. Now the sum of the digits at the odd places comes out to be 11 and the sum of the digits at even places comes out to be 19. So now we need to calculate the difference between the two, that is sum even minus sum odd. So this comes out to be 19 minus 11, which is 8. Now this 8, if this is either 0 or divisible by 11, only then the number is divisible by 11. So do you think that 8 is divisible by 11? No. So therefore this number is not divisible by 11. So this is the divisibility rule of 11. I know that this is a little complicated, but it is not difficult. Now we will take another examples. The more examples we take, the better the understanding becomes. So let us take the next example. So now we consider a number 16111312. So you have to determine if this number is divisible by 11 or not. So let us first try to find out the digits at the odd and the even places. So let us number the places 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So which are the digits present in the odd places? These are the odd places, right? So the digits in the odd places are 1, 1, 3 and 2. So sum of the digits in odd places would be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2. So this comes out to be 7. Now sum of the digits at the even places would be 6, 1, 1, that is 6 plus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 8. Now when you look at their difference, the difference is SE minus SO, which is equal to 8 minus 7, that is equal to 1. This one is again not divisible by 11, therefore the number is not divisible by 11. So in this fashion, you can determine if a particular number is divisible by 11 or not. Now again, the same magic. How it works? How did we arrive at such a complicated trick to find out divisibility by 11? So for this, let us consider a number. Let us consider a number 613261. It is a 6-digit number, and let's say we have to determine if it is divisible by 11 or not. So what we do, the first step as usual is to expand the number. So this is units place, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s and lakhs. So this would be 6 into 1,000,000 plus 1 into 10,000 plus 3 into 1,000 plus 2 into 100 plus 6 into 10 plus 1 into 1. So this is how we can expand this number. So now, in order to find its divisibility by 11, what is that trick which we can play with these numbers, 1,000, 10,000, lakhs and so on? So what we do is, we do a very interesting thing here. So what we will do is, we will try to find out numbers which are divisible by 11 and make use of those numbers. Now you remember in divisibility by 3, what we did? We wrote 100 as 99 plus 1 because 99 was divisible by 3. Right? So here also we will do something of that sort. So we will make use of numbers which are divisible by 11. So now this 1 lakh can be written as 1 lakh 1 minus 1. So we can very well write it like this. Now what about 10,000? So 10,000 can be written as, if you want, you can write it as 10,001 minus 1. But 10,001 is not divisible by 11. So by actual division you can check that. So since 10,001 is not divisible by 11, so we prefer it to be written as 9999 plus 1, because 9999 is divisible by 11. And here 1 lakh 1 is divisible by 11. So that is why we have chosen these numbers. So now you see how beautifully we will arrange these numbers. So 1000 again, if you write 1000 as 999 plus 1, 999 is not divisible by 11. But if you write it as 1001 minus 1, so 1001 is again divisible by 11. So this is a better way to write it. Again, when it comes to 100, you write it as 99 plus 1 because 99 is divisible by 11. When it comes to 10, you do not write it as 9 plus 1. Instead, you write it as 11 minus 1 because 11 is divisible by 11. And this is how we have very smartly written the expansion in a way where a lot of terms now are divisible by 11. And that is what we wanted. So now let us remove these brackets and break the terms by distributive property. So A into B minus C can be written as A into B minus A into C. So let us do that. So this is 6 into 1 lakh 1 minus 6. 6 into 1 would be 6 plus 1 into 9999 plus 1 into 1, which is 1, plus 3 into 1001 minus 3 plus 2 into 99 plus 2 plus 6 into 11 minus 6 plus 1. So this is what we get. Now from these terms are divisible by 11. That is why we had chosen them in fact. So these terms are all divisible by 11. So we are not worried about these terms. So what are we worried about? So we are worried about the remaining terms. So let us look at the remaining terms. So the remaining terms are minus 6 plus 1 minus 3 plus 2 minus 6 plus 1. Now let us write all the positives together and all the negatives together. So this can be written as 1 plus 2 plus 1 minus 6 minus 3 minus 6. And this can be written as 1 plus 2 plus 1 within brackets minus 6 plus 3 plus 6. And what is this? 1 plus 2 plus 1. 1 plus 2 plus 1. So these are basically the digits, sum of the digits in the odd places. Minus 6 plus 3 plus 6. This is sum of the digits in the even places. So you see, sum of the digits in the odd places minus sum of the digits in the even places. So that is the part which is doubtful if this is divisible by 11 or not, because rest of the part we saw that they are anyways divisible by 11. So this is the reason that whenever you are asked to find out if a number is divisible by 11 or not, we find sum of the digits at the odd places, we find sum of the digits at the even places, and then subtract them to see if the difference is either 0 or divisible by 11. In that case, the number will be divisible by 11. So with this, I think we have covered the divisibility tests of all numbers starting from 2 till 11. So let us now quickly look at some of the questions based on the divisibility tests. Write the smallest digit and the greatest digit in the blank space so that the number formed is divisible by 3. Now, what have we learned from the divisibility test of 3? A number is divisible by 3 when sum of the digits is a multiple of 3, or when sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So for this number to be divisible by 3, the sum of its digits, so sum of the digits for this number 4 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus, what is this? Let us say that the blank space is x plus 2. So we have to basically find out the value of x. So this is equal to 24, that is 4 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 2, that is 24 plus x. So this is the sum of the digits. Now the question is, this sum of the digits, if this is divisible by 3, only then this number will be divisible by 3. That is our divisibility rule of 3. Now, what is the smallest number, smallest value that x can take such that 24 plus x is divisible by 3? Now, is 24 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. 3 8s are 24, so 24 is divisible by 3. So, the smallest value that x can take is Smallest value of x would be 0, because when x is equal to 0, this is 24, which is divisible by 3. And what is the greatest value that x can take? Now x is a digit, so x can only be a single digit number. So what is the greatest value of a single digit number that x can take? Now think about it, because it has to be divisible by 3. Now 24 is divisible by 3. Now if you look at the multiples of 3, quickly look at the multiples of 3. So what are the multiples of 3? The multiples of 3 goes something like this. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, and so on. So when you look at it, the smallest value of x could be 0, and the next value of x could be 3, because if x is 3, then this becomes 27. So 27 is again divisible by 3. The next value of x could be 6. The next value of x could be 9. So x can only take these values, because only when x takes these values, this sum will be divisible by 3. Right? That is quite obvious, because if you add 2 to 24, it becomes 26. So 26 is not divisible by 3. Now since 24 is already divisible by 3, so in order to make 24 plus x divisible by 3, x has to be something which is divisible by 3. So basically x has to be a multiple of 3. So the minimum value that x can take is 0, because when you put x as 0, the sum remains 24, which is divisible by 3. And the greatest value that x can take would be 9, because beyond 9 you have 12. So 12 is a 2-digit number, but we have space only for 1 digit. So the maximum value of x would be 9. So these are the smallest and the greatest digit possible in this blank space. Question number 2. Using divisibility tests, determine if 21,084 is divisible by 4 by 8. So how do we determine if a number is divisible by 4 or not? Now the divisibility tests of 4 focuses on the last 2 digits. If last 2 digits are divisible by 4, then this entire number will be divisible by 4. So let us see if the last 2 digit is divisible by 4 or not. So we get a remainder 0, so that means the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. So therefore we say that this number is divisible by 4. What about 8? Now to check the divisibility of 8, we have to see if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8 or not. So last 3 digits is 084, which also means 84, because 0 at the beginning has no value. So 084 is basically 84, and when you divide it by 8, what do you get? So you basically get a remainder as 4. That means 84 is not divisible by 8. Therefore, this number as a whole is also not divisible by 8. Question number 3. Using divisibility tests, determine if 12,583 is divisible by 6 or not. Now what is the rule? The rule says that if a number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then the number is divisible by 6. So now let us check the divisibility by 2. So is this number divisible by 2? So in order to be divisible by 2, the units place digit has to be 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, which is not true in this case. Therefore, this number is not divisible by 2. Now since this number is not divisible by 2, there is no point checking its divisibility by 3, because in order to be divisible by 6, it has to be divisible by both 2 and 3. So therefore, we can directly say that the number will not be divisible by 6. Question number 4. Write a digit in the blank space so that the number formed is divisible by 11. So let us assume that the digit in the blank space is x. So we have just assumed that. Now, what do we know as per the rule of divisibility by 11? Now, for a number would be divisible by 11 only when the difference between the sum of the digits at odd places and sum of the digits at even places is either 0 or a multiple of 11. So, let us first find out the position of the digits. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So, these are the odd positions. So, sum of the digits in the odd places would be x, 4 and 4. So, x plus 4 plus 4, that would be equal to x plus 8. Now, similarly, sum of the digits at even places, that would be equal to these positions 6, 4 and 2. That is, it would be 8, 9 and 8. So 8 plus 9 plus 8. So this would be 25. Now let us try to find out their difference. So the difference would be 25 minus x plus 8. So this would be 25 minus x minus 8. That is equal to 17 minus x. So this is the difference. Now, what do we know as per rule? That if this difference is either 0 or it is divisible by 11, only then the number will be divisible by 11. So let us assume the first case, that if we say that this is equal to 0. So in that case, if we say that if 17 minus x is equal to 0, in that case, what would be the value of x? The value of x would be 17. Correct? But in this case, x is a single digit number. So this is not possible because x has to be a single digit number because x is a single digit. So that means that this has to be a multiple of 11. So after 0, what could be the next multiple of 11? So the next thing that could be is 17 minus x can be equal to 11. So this means x will be equal to 17 minus 11, which is equal to 6. So 6 would be the answer. So 6 would be the value of x.
I hope you found the video useful. If at all you have a feedback or you want to share your experience with us, do let us know in the comment section. If you really like the video, do share it with your friends as well. I will meet you guys very soon with a new video with a new topic. Till then, stay home, stay safe, take care. Bye-bye.